Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Bright in my hands is The Wolf Never Sleeps, Volume 1. It is original story by Shienbishop, art by Gombi Shinkawa, character design by Kiichi, Taga, translation by Jason Moses, and lettering by Brandon Bovia. Alright, so this is about a guy so it's a fantasy series where this person named Lecan, who's also known as the One-Eyed Wolf, is an adventurer. He and his buddy is out in a dungeon. Every so often there's this story about like a black whirl that opens up in dungeons, and you can go through and get like tons of riches by going through it. Cool. So out, they're in a dungeon, black whirl happens, they decide, screw it, we're going to go through it. And now they're in a different world, split up. We actually don't know where his partner is. I think the partner's name's Bode, like B-O-H-D or something like that. So Lecan is on his own. He winds up kind of like getting a job as a swordsman, protector, soldier, whatever you want to call him. And this is kind of just like his introduction to the world. Like, it's not a super exciting debut first volume, but I really, really like it. Like, it's a very kind of slow burn of a manga. Keeps things going, and there's a lot of intrigue into it, and there's a lot of things hinted at as to maybe what's going to come and where it could possibly go. But overall, I'm really intrigued by it. Like, on its surface, you would think that it's much like a lot of the other manga out there of like, I gain powers and I'm becoming this dungeon crawler master, or I gain powers and I went to this different world, and now I can use my cell phone to look up the internet, even though the internet doesn't exist. I honestly thought I was going to kind of fall into one of those type of categories. It's not. This is much more of like a traditional fantasy story where this character is going up and kind of whipping butt, and he's a really good swordsman. He's trying to figure out what's different in this world, not just the language, but how they use magic and what kind of the rules are, and their, the items they have. Like, it's interesting that he's slowly learning, and as he learns, we learn as the readers as well. As I said, this is a much more, I think, traditional fantasy is my take. I personally kind of wanted to get it because I think it's an awesome title that's kind of a badass cover. I'm not gonna lie, there's something about the cover that's really, really intriguing to me. The art, I think, is pretty solid. It's a nice fantasy vibe, but with manga, but not quite, an over the top style. It never really falls into that like exaggerated world. Like, it actually reminds me a lot of maybe Solo Leveling in that way. It's much more kind of a grounded style. I like it. I like it a lot. Like, it's clearly manga. It's clearly of that type of comic, but like nothing is super, I think, over the top in style or action or anything. Like, this is the type of thing where people are pausing and doing crazy moves. But at the same time, you get like this animal charging, which is kind of that more of that traditional manga vibe of sort of like the style and the art and the action. It's interesting. Like, we kind of just get this character's introduction to this world, and by the end of it, like, he kind of is in this position. There's nothing super exciting. There's not like a huge big climactic battle or like huge thing he has to overcome or anything like that. It's just really a guy trying to find his place in this world and figure out where to go from here. And that's about it. Like, it's kind of boring when you think about it, but there's something really good about it. It's just really, really well done. More classic fantasy, which is funny because I generally don't like that. So for me to sit there and say I like this, I think it says a lot about the actual story itself. I'm a fan. Clearly, I'm a fan. You can go get it. It's out now in shops. Should be out in shops. Not. It's going to be in comic shops this week. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code to tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so to get a small percentage by doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. And speaking of support, I want to thank Yen Press for hooking us up with the review copy. And of course, thank you all for watching. If you are into manga, if you're into comics, graphic novels, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading that manga, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games. you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.